Welcome to Storytelling. This week's guest is a captivating speaker, author, and metaphysical thought leader who dismantles illusions and breaks reality wide open. As the creator of Metaphysical Speaking, she challenges everything we think we know about existence, manifestation, and the fallacy of death. Her upcoming event, Live and Unfiltered, dives even deeper into these provocative conversations. Please welcome Kristen Clark. Hello, Kristen, and welcome to the podcast.
Hi, Debbie. So glad to be here. So glad. We're going to have so much fun today.
So, Christian, what was the moment you realised you could no longer shrink yourself to fit the world's expectations?
The day I was born. Honestly, it's funny. I just wrote a whole huge thing this morning because I did have another podcast host ask me. She wanted to know, when did your transformation happen? And And I'm like, we're not butterflies. We don't go into a cocoon and then we come out and ta-da, shut the book, the end, happy ending. Life is not like that. It never has been. It's been this continuous. You've seen those graphs where it says life isn't like this start, straight line, end. It's this tangled
Very
mess,
squiggly.
right? Yeah. That's it. And if I could pinpoint my transformation, which has been a continuous thing for 58 years, I could be a billionaire because I could tell everybody, here's the secret. Ooh, don't get me started down that road. There is no secret, right? How'd that work for all of us who watched The Secret and went, oh, here it is. If I just vibrate properly and think properly, I'll be a billionaire by next year and I'll have the love of my life and I'll live in blah, blah, blah. And instead of that happening, we kind of like had a carrot dangling out here, right? Keeping us going forward there. And then we'd get little breadcrumbs of, I wanted that. And I remember I wanted that. And now I have it. Ooh, what did I do? What did I do to manifest that? I got to quick figure it out, right? There is no cookie cutter recipe. Even if you're a cook and you're making cookies and you follow that instructions, there's no guarantee anything's going to happen. And that's the juice of life. That's the treasure, is this constant unknown. That's you're nose to nose with. And the thing is if we're always looking behind us, trying to figure out what happened back there, what happens when we walk backwards? It's sooner or later we're on our ass. When we feel bold enough to turn around and face forward, despite, it's kind of scary, there is something so original being that comes out and plays. And it's a whole different level. It's an enormity. There's an enormity because it does require you to be bold. I don't say brave. I say bold because there's a different feeling to that. So that's the answer to that question. When did my transformation happen?
You talk about being bold, but being bold isn't easy for everyone.
It's not.
Well,
sure as hell it is.
No.
Yeah, it is. You just make the decision.
Yeah, but how?
Oh, we want to know. There's that need for that cookie cutter recipe again. How?
Some people feel pigeonholed. Sometimes they pigeonhole themselves.
They do? Are those people here right now? Yeah, where are these people we're talking about? So I'm going to go big with Debbie today. I'm going to go dragon with Debbie today because Debbie can handle it. I don't do this with all my podcast hosts because they can't always do it. But Debbie and I have had a previous conversation, and this girl is big. Debbie is colossal and strong, and she can handle the dragon lady. And the dragon lady is this: no hows, only nows. Because hows, if we're going to talk about pigeonholes, hows are like a black hole that'll just suck you down. And you can get very, and I'm always going to say you, I'm never going to say there's people out there because they're not here. The only people who are here is me and Debbie. That's my reality right here, right now. All these so-called people, where are they? I don't see them. So there's no proof they even exist. And that's a fun place to go. But we'll keep the rabbit hole a little shallow for right now, Alice. So when I said no hows, only nows, you are brand new in this moment. This is that looking forward. This moment right here, right now, you can look around you and you can see everything that is brand new. Like for me, I may be giving myself manifesting the memory that I've lived in this house for 7 years. And I've seen that picture back there for 7 years. And I've seen that picture back there for 7 years. But if I'm looking forward, I know I have never seen that picture in that level of light, with this conversation going on, with these thoughts going on in my head. It's a brand new moment. And when I take a moment to go, oh, that's brand new. This is all brand new. Then now I'm in my now space. And in this now space, it's just you and me. And if I wanted to go even deeper, it's just me. But it's just you and me. And so to speak from that space does require a boldness that has to let go of all these backstories. And these backstories are not your identity at all. Because if you were to suddenly get amnesia, you're still you. People with amnesia don't lose their base personality. They lose all their baselines. You know, these, oh, I'm poor and I'm this, all those backstories. They lose those. They're blank back there, right? They're just right here, which is such a gift. It's such a beautiful space to interact with people like that too, because they're so wide open to whatever they could be. And it's this constant invitation of, do I shrink down to all those people and blanket statements, or do I go bigger than that? Do I defy, rock the boat a little bit and say, what are you talking about? Where's all these people you're talking about? I don't see them. Let's talk about what's right here, what's right now, which is you or me. That's the metaphysical. The metaphysical that I do, nothing is bigger than you. Nothing. Not all these so-called people, not all those comfort zones. Nothing is bigger than you. Not even manifestation. Don't get me started down there. You can see how I really feel about that. Nothing is bigger than you. Nothing is bigger than you. And so I continually bring my audience, bring my clients, bring my friends back to the space of, when you believe in a source, all that is, universe, God, whatever you're, let's make this bigger than me, then that means you're always trying to please that entity to give you what you want. You're waiting for that entity to say, okay, now you've bent over backwards far enough. Here's a treat. Here's a reward. And how's that working out for us? How's that working out? It doesn't work out great at all. So the boldness is the invitation to realize, and the thing I love is that I can always prove it. You are bigger than it all, because it wouldn't exist without your attention to it. Dun, dun, dun.
Getting someone to realize that they are bigger than they are, to actually live in the moment, to actually realize that when they wake up in the mornings, they're seeing something for the first time in a different light, in a different angle. What would you say that someone should focus on in that moment?
Focusing on something makes it bigger than you.
Mm.
This is again, and I love these questions, Debbie. They're so perfect. I love it. Because I don't always think from that angle. And so I love it because it helps confirm it in me too. Mantras, methods, what I call hoops and hacks. These things we're doing so that we can be bigger. We're already making that bigger than us. Something to overcome, making that bigger than us. When we just stay in the space of who you are, there's nothing. See, the thing, all those thoughts come from the space of I am not good enough as I am. Who I am right here. And we can give that an origin. We can, oh, my mother, blah, 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 or society, blah. And there it is again, those people out there. Stop. They're not there. They are not there. It is an illusion that they are there. And I'm going to take you down a little rabbit hole here. So, got your splunking suit on, Alice? Come on. You ready for a wonderland? Okay, so in this moment, somewhere in your house is a bathroom. Now, in your mind right now, you can imagine what that bathroom looks like. You know what side the toilet's on. You know where the sink is. You know the color of the towels. You know if there's a rug or no rug. You know if it's a full bath or a half bath. You know everything about it right now. But you cannot see it right now. So does it exist? Is it really there? You have no proof. You have memories that you've been in there 20, 30, 40,000 times. Who knows? But what's to say you're not manifesting those memories right now to support the state that you have a bathroom? So consider in this moment that there's nothing there. In that section of the house, there's really nothing there. It's just a void that is waiting for you to go, I'm going to the bathroom. You go around the corner and it happens so fast, it feels like it's always been there. So manifestation, the creation of whatever, is the exact same way. It happens so fast, you feel like you didn't do anything. Well, where's the confetti? Where's the fireworks? Where's the ta-ta-ta? Look what I did. Where is that? Well, see, that's who you are. This is who you are. You are this amazingly fast being that can do these things so quickly that they feel normal. We call them mundane. So they don't have fanfare. You don't every time you go in the bathroom go, oh, look what I did. And so when you want to wake up in the morning and have this, ta-ta-ta, the God of this reality just woke up, everybody's, everybody, let's start the movie. It doesn't happen that way. We want that fanfare. We want that. Damn it. I want that. But you're bigger than that. You're so much bigger than that, that it just is like, yeah, I just got up the sun. Here's the sun. The sun is up. Yeah, well, you did that, babe. Yeah. You did that. You expected that sun to be there. And so you looked and there it is. But how many times out of the day are you making sure that sun is there? We're like, well, it's there because it's light. Yeah, that doesn't prove a damn thing. That doesn't prove anything.
Yeah.
Okay. So tiny rabbit hole there.
Tiny rabbit hole, but I'm going to send you down a rabbit hole now. It's my turn.
I love them.
Because you constantly said, I am here in the moment, being bold in the moment. Describe that. Introduce us to you in this moment.
You're looking at her.
No.
I just did. You are never not in this moment. We can play that, oh, I'm in the past. No, you're not. You're in this moment looking at the past, manifesting a past. When you take a moment to go, am I really anywhere else? No. Now you can be like, okay, at 3:00, I have a doctor's appointment, but it's always now, right? It's always right now. And you could talk from this now that later I have to go to the doctor's appointment, but it's never later. You never become later. You become now. Later becomes now. So everything in your world becomes now, no matter where you're looking at it from, no matter what lens you think, oh, I'm in the past. Oh, I am in a previous life. I'm doing past life regression. You're still doing it from right now. You're never not this now. Now, let's tweak that word now to me. I am always doing it from me. I am doing past life regression that I was Attila the Hun, but I'm still doing it from me. It's always happening from me. I am thinking about my future doctor's appointment, but I'm always doing it from me being synonymous with now. That was fun. Thank you.
All right, another fun question for you.
Okay, serious time.
If we talked about different variations of manifestation, and you absolutely hate the word as well.
I think a lot of people do.
But there's certain, like, for example, when we previously spoke, I mentioned to you, I had dinner with a friend. I talked about helping people share their stories, but I didn't know how I was going to do it. And then he called me a year later to say, hey, you're doing it with your podcast. Why don't you share with me your response when I told you that a friend called me a year later after doing my podcast to say, you're doing it. You're actually doing what you said you were going to do.
Yeah. Debbie, let's play here, because this is great. This is a fantastic example of walking backwards. And so what happens when we walk backwards is you can feel the constriction. You can feel that sudden, oh, wait, there's a little stress. There's a little anxiety being introduced, because now I've got the anxiety of, oh, shoot, what did I say? And you've got the anxiety of, oh, shoot, why didn't we write that down? Because that was so good. Yeah. But again, and that is, see how subtle that was? We didn't even notice it happened. But that's exactly it, because you were asking a minute ago, show us this person. Show us the person that is now. The now is, I'm not going to say the now is free of that anxiety, because that's not true. We both were there, and yet we're still in the now moment. I will say that was a shrinking, and it happens subtly. But regardless, it didn't make us stop being who we are. We're no less a god because I shrank a little bit. It was just a playground sandbox that we got in for a second, and then we jumped out. And so there is this wonderful world of our backstories. And when we create an identity within these backstories, instead, think of the sky, and clouds are going by all day long. There's this cloud, there's that one shaped like a rhinoceros, and there's this one that's nothing. Does the sky make those clouds its identity? No, they're just going through. They come in and go out, and they come in, and some are really big and black, and some are white, and some are pretty, but they're not the sky, right? You are the sky. And no matter what it is, what backstory, what emotion, what belief, whatever you're playing with in this moment right now, it just came up and played with you and went. It just came in, played, and went. And you remain. You always remain. So a previous podcaster asked me about fear. She goes, well, what do you think about fear? And I'm like, what do you want me to say about fear? It is no bigger than what you just blew into a tissue. But we can make it that way because we're that amazing, because we're that fantastic. And when you can take a moment and go, oh, I just made that fear huge. Damn, I'm good. Because how many times out of the day do you take that fearful subject and are you living with it? How many times out of the day? Not very often. When it's here, it feels like it's there all the time. Especially if you're a person that likes to play in anxiety and panic attacks and things like that, you could make it huge. But if you really took a moment to go, how much out of my day am I really thinking about that? Am I really interacting with that? If I was really to look at it, it's like not as much as you think. In fact, very, very little, because there's always a squirrel.
One thing that I love is your energy. Your fun energy. If anyone was to meet you, they'll be immediately comfortable in your presence. Because I think when we met, there was lots of synergies in terms of where we were in our journeys or in our state. But what would you say is the ingredient or some of the ingredients for that magic? I'm asking you because I don't know the answer.
I know. And I live in here, so hell if I know. Again, it comes down to just being you. There was it. Oh, here we go. I've got an answer for you. Yeah, absolutely. There's those original thoughts coming in. There was when we shrink ourselves to make the room happy. And the room can be anything. The room can be your mom. The room can be a room of your work, or the room can be the government. The room can be a boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever. The room can be anything. The room can be your guru, your guru telling you this is how you got to do it. And every part of you is going, that doesn't make sense. When you shrink yourself to fit what their need is, yeah. Can you feel how you and I just shrank with that? It's just, it's not this expansive. And so while it's yet just another sandbox, it's just part of the playground. The majority of the time, you are you. You are the vivacious, happy, original thought, original being. You are that. And it comes out when it comes out, and you shrink when you shrink. And the thing is this, when you constantly are trying to control it, that shrinks you too. That shrinks you too. So I'll give a great example. I had a podcast the other day, and the host is a shrink. He's a psychiatrist. And he wanted to shrink me. And I wouldn't shrink. I couldn't shrink. I don't shrink for that. And I never will. And I didn't realize shrink and shrink were the same word until I was interacting with him. And I just went, wait, oh my God, I just had a huge epiphany. Hold on. I got to be with this a second. And it was just like, duh. But it was also, wow. What is shrinking when a psychiatrist or therapist or counselor works with you? They're making you look behind you, right? They're making you walk backwards. And I said, that's just nostalgia for limiting ways. And you don't have to play there. You don't have to. And so when I interact with people, I love taking people by the hand and let's go for a walk through, Wonderland. Let's go, because I don't always live here. I'm not always here, but I am always in here. And it's a kick of a ride. Your life is alive and it loves for you to come and play. And sometimes there's clouds and sometimes there's not. And sometimes there's weather and sometimes there's not. But you always are there. And when I say life, that's what I'm talking about. You, the existence, what gives life to this current sandbox.
Kristen, what is the one thing that you would like our audience to take away from this conversation?
The one thing? I only get one?
Oh, two things then. Or three.
Nothing is bigger than you. Nothing is bigger than you. Stop waiting around for the approval, you vibrated enough, high enough now. Okay. It's okay. So like Abraham Hicks, love him. Couldn't have gotten to where I am now if I hadn't gotten to that step. They talk about a vortex. She always does this, vortex. And you notice it's separate. It's over here and you're over here. Yeah, that's doing you no favors because you're always, how far backwards can you bend so that you can eke something, some little nugget of goodness out of that vortex? And what is it saying to you when you're not seeing those nuggets you want so bad? Oh, I didn't do good enough today. Tomorrow's a new day. I'll do better. And there's another black hole. I'll do better. I'll do better. I'll do better. And this is what happens when you make something bigger than you. Anything, 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 any emotion, any belief, any person, anything. Oh, the sky is bigger than me. Oh, no, it's not. Because the sky doesn't exist without you. Nothing exists without your attention to it. And that's huge to know. They can't exist. So if something comes into your reality and you're like, yuck, all you have to do is, I'm not available for that. I'm not available for that. And then you walk on and you let it go. And you don't sit there and go, oh, okay, maybe I've got to do this ceremony. Oops. I've got to do this thing, hack. At some point, you get beyond the hoops and the hacks. And what does it mean if you forget and you go back to the hoops and the hacks? Welcome back to the sandbox. You're not here for long. You'll be out of there in a heartbeat. Nothing is bigger than you. Da, da, da.
Kristen, thank you for telling us or sharing with us that nothing is bigger than ourselves. And thank you for being in a moment for this podcast interview. You've been an awesome guest.
Thank
you so much.
Thank you, Debbie. It was such a blast. And I just love it. This is what I do. I always say live is where I thrive. And so thank you. Thank you for this opportunity to play.
If you would like further details about Kristen, then please follow links in the show notes.